What we need to remember is that adverse childhood experiences don't just happen to poor people or to people who don't have education or to people that are those people over there. They can happen to anybody. Somebody that you know very close. They could be someone you work with. They could be your neighbor. They could be the person that you're in love with and sit at the table across from every day. There are 10 categories of ACEs that kind of fall into 3 areas or groups. Those groups are household dysfunction, abuse, and neglect. And those 10 ACEs look like physical abuse, sexual abuse, a parent who's been incarcerated, separation or divorce of a parent. Any one of those can create an adverse childhood experience within an individual. And within that family, sometimes what will happen is that more than one of those occurs. People think, oh, somebody with a lot of ACEs, they are going to be a problem. You know, even someone who has 8 ACEs can be somebody that's really great and helpful and kind. Doesn't mean that you're going to be an awful, horrible person because you have ACEs. Trauma and adverse childhood experiences is a community issue, not just a familial issue. And unfortunately for us, in rural areas and in Shasta County specifically, high ACEs is predominant here. We have double that of some of the state averages for some of the adverse childhood experiences. If a child is growing up in a home that has domestic violence or has a lot of chaos, when they come to school, they're not going to be at a place in their brains to sit still and do things that we expect of them as we're trying to teach and educate them. Their brain is still in that fight or flight response mode most of the time, and everything that's happening, their brain is instantly trying to process and decide if it's a danger for them because that's what they've been living in. Then as that child grows into adulthood, even with the small amounts that they get from their teachers around some of the coping techniques, if nothing's happened for their family to support their family, they're not going to instantaneously become the adults that can cope with everything in life just because they turn 18. There's not a magic switch that then changes behavior. Being kind to yourself and knowing that we're all humans and no human is perfect. Sometimes you're going to get angry. It's more about how do you behave once you've gotten to that place as opposed to getting angry. And what skills and techniques can you use that will be helpful to you and your family. Center for Mind-Body Medicine has mindfulness techniques that will then give you an ability to have self-care, but also begin to learn how to regulate and bring yourself back to a place that's calmer. A therapist is also appropriate if you feel it's necessary. Join a group that shares your commonness, but that you can also use for support during times of need. Instead of saying what's wrong with you, maybe we say what happened to you. And it's not a blaming thing, and it's not a permissions to behave poorly. It is about making sure that we're finding what will help a family. Thank you for watching today. Please check out the links below for some additional information and resources. Also, please leave any comments around inspiration and hope that could be helpful to others. If you have questions, also leave those. We'll be doing our best to get to those questions to add any additional information as we can.